Double videos in one day? That's right. You sub right goddamn now. I'm listening to some Doom music. That's right. We're about to Doom it up. Subscribe. All right, scholars, welcome to the counselor's office. We're done being dumb. You know what else is dumb, ladies and gentlemen? Bungie. That's not surprising, but here we have, we're talking about the TWAB because there's a lot going on, and I just kind of want to put my thoughts out there. I do plan on doing another video and covering more of like the future of Destiny, but let's look at this week in Destiny. By the way, I've already looked at it, so we're just kind of paraphrasing some of the stuff for your time's sake and my time's sake. First off, here's the Gluck 5000. This is a perfect example of this is people working for Bungie and Bungie putting their hands in their back pocket. This is when you know people are in bed. Here we go. Yep. Gluck, 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 gluck. There you go. All that is just the Gluck Gluck 5000. If you don't want to, if this is why I say, and I tell people, always take what streamers and especially Destiny content creators, take what they say with a grain of salt because they will glaze the nuts out of Bungie because it's their job. PSA, their job relies on Destiny continuing to be successful. So always take what they say for a grain of salt. One of the biggest deceptions, if you want to notice something here, is that most of everything that's showcased is armor 3.0 and weapons whatever, right? Which is free. There are instances where they're showcasing the actual stuff coming from the expansion itself, which is great. But a lot of it has to do with, hey guys, this is what's happening to Destiny, the game, not the expansion. And even Bungie's come out and he pretty much said, which is an article we haven't covered that I plan on covering. It's not that one, it's the other one. Essentially, hey guys, we know our community is stupid enough to think that we can bundle all this together and sell it as an expansion, even though technically majority of what's coming out that's new is free. Just always take what these people say with a grain of salt. Listen, I'm brutally honest and I say it out how it is. Use your brain. Just realize that they're going to glaze the hell out of everything that Bungie does because it's their job. They need to pay the bills. They've got to pay their insurance. They got to pay the electric bill. They got to pay the house bill. You always got to take what they say with a grain of salt. I just feel like this is a nice little PSA for this week in Destiny. Answering some questions. Will you get vault space? No. Edge of Fate, you're not getting any vault space, and you will probably get some minor tweak to vaults in Renegades. Will I be able to use my current gear? This is you have to watch how they're wording this because it's very, instead of saying yes, it's very wordy intentionally. We're going to read it real quick. Your current gear is still viable in Edge of Fate, and you will surely use it in the near future when beginning the new expansion, even in contest mode for World's First Race. Okay, so but here's the thing, the beginning of the expansion, at high level, the new gear we introduced alongside gear tiering will offer new benefits once you start getting involved with certain activities. Armor will have spikier stats and higher totals. We already know this. Specific archetypes will help you put together stronger builds. Same thing with weapons. The higher the tier, the more extra perks and enhanced options you'll have. Now, armor, I already knew that armor would probably eventually be sunset. It's the weapons I care about, but they're not specifically saying anything about yes, no on the weapons, which is very telling to me. But what you do need to be under is your current gear is, yes, you can use your Edge of Fate, but in the near future, only for the beginning. Again, they specifically use the word beginning with the new expansion. And yes, the contest mode you'll be able to use for the dungeon because everyone's going to be capped anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Always take with what they say with a grain of salt, but also look at the keywords because Bungie's really good at doing word salad where they toss everything together and say things in a way that's very not a yes or a no. Like, it's very simple. Can I use it? Yes or no. And instead of saying yes or no, they're like, no, maybe, yeah. For this part, you can. So just know that your armor sets eventually after the beginning of Edge of Renegades, if you continue to play, will probably become irrelevant. I think they're going to be irrelevant anyways, but you're definitely going to want to start working on building new stuff soon. Weapons, again, we don't have a yes or no, just alluding to, hey, you can get these higher tiered weapons. What new weapons? We're getting a spread shot hand cannon, which apparently is like a shotgun, which is pretty cool. And then they didn't even mention it, but we're also getting a rocket sidearm pulse rifle, which is neat. What's happening in mobility? They're going to answer that down below. Is the director going away? We're focusing on the portal as the main hub, but the director is not going away. Players, it'll say world up top, so you can click the world. But the Kepler can only be accessed through the portal. That's right. The new area, it can only be accessed through the portal, which I don't know how hard it would be to slap a PNG and then have an icon to click on it to access the world from the world map. It's weird. I don't know. What are unstable cores? Essentially the things you'll need to use to upgrade beyond the cap of 200 for the seasonal cap. We will reset at the start of each 6-month season. Yeah, so it's going to be a reset. Instead of, it's your artifact mod, except it's going to be built into the armor versus the artifacts. I don't know how that feels, depending on the grind. If it's very generous, then I don't care. If it feels like I'm having to really work my ass off to get this unstable cores, it will be a shitty grind. So we'll have to play it out just to see, and hopefully they'll change it if we give enough negative criticism about how it runs. If it's bad, if it's good, I'm going to say it's okay. Like, I'm not attached to the artifact leveling system. I truly do not care. Like, having to rely on having to get XP. This is a guaranteed way. If I want to level up, I just go play the game versus I have to sit there and do bounty after bounty after bounty after bounty after. You get the point, right? So this could be a great change. We'll have to see. If it's generous, great. If it's not, then you're going to hear me roar. Gear tiering, exotic armor. Essentially, just so you all know, in the future, your exotics are going to be dropping with the new stuff. Currently, what's been told is that your gear that you have now, exotic-wise, is going to be bumped up, but you're going to get like coupons to go to 801 to actually get up like 20, like it's 20 of them. You get 20 new exotics, which I would say you should have been generous and give us 100 because there's so many freaking exotics, or at least 50. But you're going to get 20 free exotics with the roles of your choice, like Discipline, Grenadier, or Weapon Master, whatever the hell it's called. Like, you're going to be able to target farm with these freebies, which is, I think is better. I didn't expect them to do that, so that's good. So, mobility is now weapons. Rejoice, hunters. You don't have to really farm right off the rip because you have the best stat in the game. Resilience is now health, which is not as exciting. Sorry, Titans. Recovery is class. Rejoice, Warlocks. You have your class set already. Strength is melee. Discipline is grenade. Who would have thunk? Intellect is now super. Yeah. And here's all the changes, right? We've already, in my other video, we've already gone through the changes. We're just seeing like what matters to me is like the 100, 200%, 30% damage, 65% damage, 45% increase. That is huge. Like, let me not, your super is doing 45% increased damage at tier 200. That is insane. Like, for damage rotations, you are going to have probably, you're going to pop your Goldie, pop your shot, and then swap to your regular gear. Like, if they thought armor swapping was already bad now, it's going to become a thing now. Even if it's manual, people are going to do it manually or whatever they can do. This is just wow. Class. So they give us, we get an overshield, and this actually tells you how much of an overshield you get. Grants to 40 HP overshield, which is not as much as I thought. So maybe, and only 10 in PvP. So class is kind of not as exciting. Like, I don't see a world where I care to go to 200 on class. I thought it was going to be better, but you get 40 HP overshield, dodge and thrust. You're looking at 5 seconds, and then barricade rift 10 seconds. Yeah, class is an easy get to 100 and call it a day. Weapon, like I said, weapon, you're just going up to bonus weapon versus player 6%, primary, special, and heavy 15% to 10%, which is just free damage. I mean, absolute going to be a must, especially with the benefits it gives to 100. And you get granted chance of ammo brick, produced more ammo than normal. Like, that's pretty huge. And it says ammo brick, so it's not just special, it's also heavy. Yeah, this alone is going to be great, but having the free damage. For the stats going away, mobility is now fixed to 30 for Titan and Warlock, 40 for Hunters. So this is the preset gear that you're going to have transition over. Resilience is fixed to what 100 was. Recovery is fixed to around what 60 was. Abilities, stat recharge. As part of this major rework, we have tuned all the base recharge rates of abilities to better align with the way the new stat works. At low investment, at 30, your abilities will recharge slower than it used to be, but at high investment, 70 to 100, they will recharge faster. Any chunk energy gains, think demolitionist-like perks that provide a direct amount, and any energy recharge scalers, think of Crown Tempest, will now be scaled by your stat investment. At 70 stat, they will match the Lyser's values. So if you want, you would essentially, if you want to keep things how they are, you're okay with where they're at now, you need to get at least 70 in all stats to be at where you're at, right? 70 for your Grenadier, 70 for your strength or your melee. If you want to keep those at what they're at now for like max, I guess, that's what you want. But to go higher, to go farther beyond, you have to go to 100, right? 100 or 200 for the extra damage. We believe these changes together make the stats more impactful than have been previously. I agree. I think everything about this, this is great. I think it's going to make you choose more. I think there's still some things that they can tweak on. Like, I feel like the overshield for class, I feel like this is very weak. And so I feel like this could be worked on, in my opinion. Health, I think this is also a little weak. Take 50% less time to recharge. Okay, that's actually pretty good, though. I didn't see the 50% less recharge, so your shield recharge faster, which could be good, but at the same time, if recuperation and all these other things are active, you can kind of bypass this, so it's not necessary. This is what's interesting to me, is the 70 healing from one orb. I feel like they're going to nerf other things in place of that, like Devour possibly, to make it more viable. That's what I'm scared about. Like I said, they talked about the whole exotic armor. What they're doing for exotic class items, essentially, you're going to get, depending on the perks you have, like the exotic perks you have, you're going to get a specific subset of stats. So if you have like an exotic perk that's focused on, let's say, Synthoceps, you're going to get strength or melee as one of your core stats. So they're going to gear it specifically. My hope is that they're very like 1-to-1 versus having to regrind it all over again, because out of all the exotics, these are more of a bitch to get. So these need to be 1-for-1, crossed over, very girthy, very beefy stats. If they're not, I'm going to be upset. But at the same time, I've kind of moved away from relying on class items for prismatic builds. I find that other exotics kind of do the job better, or it synergizes better. But for people out there who are using class items, just know that they are going to tweak yours, bring your class items over. I don't know if they're going to be tier 4 or 5 or whatever, right? But you're definitely going to have to probably grind for them again, if I'm being honest. So, there was a lot of drama. Bungie is nerfing Edge of Fate. And it's funny because they talked about how it's been a bit hot since release. They even said they intentionally released it hot. This is why you always got to be careful with what Bungie says, because they try to make it sound like, oh, this was an accident. This wasn't an accident. This is how they tried to sell the final shape. It's been a year now. And the final shape is now becoming like free on PlayStation, and they're starting to do discounts. This is the new expansion, so they don't really care about the final shape as much anymore. And so now they're nerfing things that was the bread and butter of the final shape. Prismatic is going to get nerfed, and they allude to it here. We'll talk about some of the changes, but they even said that they're going to be a tuning pass. So there's going to be more nerfs. What we see is not the nerfs. They're just talking about it. This is preparation for the fact that Prismatic is going to get nerfed. So if you like Prismatic, there's a good chance that they're going to make it a lot worse. And knowing Bungie, classic Bungie, they're going to over nerf something that is going to make everyone mad. It always happens. Bungie always swings the hammer too far. Prismatic is very popular right now. They're going to overswing, and I guarantee you they're going to nerf something to the ground that people are going to be pissed about. Just set your expectations. This is reality. They do it all the time. Something is going to get overhammered. They don't know how to balance correctly. They always over-tune to make the new thing that comes out the new hotness, which is not even like abilities. It's just a mechanic, but they're going to try to paint it as a mechanic with the stupid Metroid bullshit. I say that because I don't say it's actually stupid, but the fact that they're trying to package it as abilities when it's just a mechanic like Deep Sight, which is in the game currently, you can't take it with you. It's not actual abilities. It's a mechanic. But they're nerfing Prismatic. If you use any of these kind of fragments, aspects. No, it's fragments. Here's a list of aspects per class and plan changes to fragment slots. Okay, so it's aspects that then impact your fragment slots. So if you run concentration, you're going to get 2. It was going to be 1. Knockout remains at 2. It was going to be 1. Prismatic Hunter, Stylus Executioner was at 2. Was going to be 1, but they reverted it back. Ascension is going to 2. Winter Shroud is going to 2. Prismatic Warlock, Feed the Void, remains at 2. Was going to be 1. Hellion is going to 2. And Bleak Watcher is going to 2. Which does feel bad because if you use like you're looking at 4 versus 6, so you're losing 2 fragment slots. If you run this, you were at 5, you're now at 4. Hunter, if you were using like Stylish and Winter Shroud, you were at 5, you're now at 4, so you're losing 1 fragment slot. Do I think it's going to be make or break? I don't think so. I think even with some of the armor changes, I think some of these are going to be okay to kind of, you can choose that 1 fragment that you can kind of skip out on to focus on other like energy regeneration or something like that. You can kind of skip that because you focus on the armor to kind of do that, right? With many changes coming to our stat system gear, we will see Prismatic as an incredible option for ad clearing or boss DPS focusing players among you. We're looking forward to seeing how you experiment with Prismatic and alternative subclasses at launch. Again, they're going to do more nerfs. Don't think like, oh, this is it. There's always more nerfs. Prophecy is on. Prophecy's out. So the only thing that matters here is that from June 17th, pretty much June 17th, all dungeons will be available. That's all you need to know. If you want to do all dungeons or go back to do dungeons, it's June 17th. Put it on your calendars. The next date that matters, July 18th through July 15th, Eludapalooza. That's a reason, I guess, to come back. Currency. I'm going to be honest. After looking at everything we see, don't overfarm this unless you really want like a specific weapon shiny. Like I can see the SMG from Ghost of the Deep and the shotgun from Prophecy because they're like kind of, they fit that niche that isn't there currently. Don't waste your time because most of these weapons are going to immediately be outdated. Let's be honest. It's going to, a lot of these weapons are going to immediately become useless or nearly useless whenever the next expansion comes out. Sorry, it's not an expansion. It's free. The quality of life update comes out when the expansion comes out. The free quality of life. A lot of these weapons, and even in the expansion is going to bring new toys that could easily replace some of these weapons. So just don't overdo it. Don't overstress. Don't overfocus. I know shiny, it's an addiction. You don't need those shinies because there's going to be better, I wouldn't say better shinies, but there's going to be better gear in the future. So just another PSA, take the time, walk away. Don't spend your entire day off farming for something that you're probably never going to use. So with the Edge of Fate, Adepts are going away. There's no longer Adepts, so rest in peace, Adept Weapons. Adept Weapons no longer exist because they're now tiered. So the new Adept is probably going to be tier 4, tier 5, right? That's going to be the new system. Adepts are bye-bye, so long, farewell. But these are like your last chance to get these Adept Weapons, right? These are your last chance. Here's your list. Rake Angle is actually really good with replenishing Aegis and Chill Clip. I've used it for most of the contest mode on my Titan. It is fantastic. It is a great roll combination because you're using it as a riot shield while freezing targets and killing stuff. Is probably one of the few glaives in the game that I can ever recommend anyone use. Like, delete everything else. Rake Angle is probably the premium glaive in the game. Shadow Price is a miss. Palindrome is a miss because there's better hand cannons, and this one's just ass. Plug 1. I mean, I don't think there's easy access to a good void arc right now, so Plug 1's all right. Lotus Eater, absolute must. I use this in day 1 too. Fantastic. Wild Style, skip. Osiris, yesterday's question, skip. Keen's Thistle, everyone coped on it, skip. Tomorrow's Answer, you can have, right now, currently, you can have the best Void Rocket, you can have the best Stasis Rocket, and the best Solar Rocket. They all do the exact same damn thing. Heads and Vengeance is the best, but Tomorrow's Answer for the Void slot for Void Surges, yeah, you can go for it. Shadow's Wrath, for PvP, probably. For PvE, it's an easy skip. An Aegis Care, massive skip. Strand weapons just suck ass mostly. There's a few selection, like Animanite for support is good, but when it comes to like, I would rather use other like kinetic weapons than this because a lot of the perks that this has is just garbage. Pride Month, and then that's pretty much it. The secret. So if you were doing Rights of the Nine like me, the Triumph is bugged, so they're going to patch it to where all the previous dungeons we've done, you're just going to get the collectibles for free. So if you didn't even bother do it, luck's on your side because you get it for free because they're going to fix it. And then everything we know has been bugged is still bugged. Imagine that, guys. They still have a laundry list of stuff that continues to go that the game's bugged. And that's your week in Destiny. Yeah, that's your week in Destiny. Like I've already said my PSAs. Just quick, simple video for you. Nothing over here is overly exciting. Nothing about the Edge of Fate itself is exciting to me. I think it's being overhyped. I would like to be wrong, but man, when the final shape came out, I was hyped. I was excited. Like, Prismatic? What? These look dope. Like the final, like there's no even a villain here that really excites me. All we have is the Gordon Freeman? Or no, not Gordon Freeman. It's Half-Life dude. That's the like, oh, we have a different looking dude, and that's the highlight so far of the expansion is we have this Gordon knockoff. I'm sorry. I'm not hating to hate, but I'm a realist. I am a realist. This is, you take the release of the final shape to this, the excitement level is incredibly low. I'm more excited for the free stuff. If you're a free player, you're eating good. You're eating good. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the double drops this week or today. I'll see you guys later. As always, don't forget to game out. Huzzah.